Okay, so now I have my body all. Get these knees just setting off to the side. So this is, if you drew it in vector art, you would have something like this where it's all together. I'll even make it all together. So once I select it like this, now when I deselect, let me do a Command Z on that. Right now, yeah, that's just inner part. So yeah, it's all connected up together. It is already. So these are all, it's not separated. So now you have a character you might have drawn that's in pieces like this. The head I did separate out, and you would have to separate the head from this also. But just to speed up the process and show you, I'll keep the head separate. And now we need to separate all these different body parts and make them into the upper arm, lower arm, hand, body, upper leg, lower leg, foot. So to do that in vector art, and it's going to be very similar when we get into the Photoshop version of it, is we'll use our lasso tool. And let's say I want to start with the body. I'll start with the body. So what I'm going to do is come on my lasso tool and come in here and select the body. And I'm not going to be able to get it exact, and I'm not going to worry about that at this part of it. So I selected the body here. So I'll copy that. So Command C, Control C, edit, copy, however you want to do it. You're going to copy. And then I'll make a new layer. And on that new layer, I'm going to edit, paste in place. So I pasted it where it belongs. And I'll turn off the body all. This is going to be, maybe I won't call it body all. I'll call it pose, original pose, just a original pose all. And this one I'm going to call body. So this is the body. I'm going to come over to this, hold my Option or Alt key on the eyeball icon. And if I click that, it turns everything else off but the one I clicked. So now just the body is visible. And the tricky part is then you have to kind of do some redrawing here. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time doing this. If I click away. So I have this arm I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of this arm. I want to get rid of this little bit of the pants here. So with that, if I click like this, at least I can get rid of the blue. And then I'll look at getting rid of just those black lines in a second. So I get rid of that. I can get rid of that red. So what I have going on here, I have this hooded sweatshirt in behind them. And if that's nice, I click on that. That will delete. That's good. Click that. That's the only thing that's select. So I'll delete that. Maybe I'll get that one little piece there. That, yep, got rid of that. And then probably can get rid of these that way. So, you know, I'm not going to do the whole character. You don't have to watch me do the whole thing. But I'm breaking it apart. This is where it's going to get a little tricky. So if I click here, I can get rid of these lines I don't need. And it is breaking those up as I click on them. And I just want to make sure I don't get rid of the whole outline. So I'm just looking as I'm going, as I'm clicking. So I get rid of those. And then I want to kind of draw in this part here. Now I could, there's a number of ways you could do it. If I can come back in with my sub selection tool, and I could delete these points by selecting the point and hitting the negative on my keyboard. It makes my pen tool, gives me the negative pen tool. Delete these. Oh, see, now I went too far. So Control Z, Command Z, get that back. Go back to here. Let's see what we have going. Maybe I want to get rid of these ones here. So I hit negative again. Yep, I was there. I went too far. Yep. So if I go back to my selection tool, let's see what we have. Select away. Move this in. It doesn't have to be exact as it was. Just kind of, I want to get a feeling that this is that sweatshirt there. So now with this last little bit here, if I use my ink bottle tool, we'll see what it does. I haven't done this in a while, so I'll click that and added a little line. So what the ink bottle tool does, as opposed to the paint bucket tool, it adds a line, stroke line to the outside of, and there is already one there, so that's why it's not adding it. I could take my paintbrush tool with the black, right there. That got a little heavy there. Do Command Z on that. Yeah, it's still doing it. So that is where we do miss our Cintiqs. You know, to redraw something like this would be a little nicer on the Cintiq. Let me see what this is. A shape or it's a stroke. So, I mean, for what we're doing, that could work. As I put the arm on top, you're not really going to see too much of that as the arms are going back and forth and doing. So I have this as my body. So I could turn that off, come back to my original pose. Again, what I did on the eyeball is to select the eyeball, hold my Alt or Option key. And what that does is make sure everything else is off except what you selected. So now here's our whole body again. So if I want just the arm, my lasso tool again, select out, it's layered. So I'm gonna say no, make sure I'm selecting original pose layer. Make sure that layer is selected. And yeah, could have kept it, but just, and then just gonna select around it. In this case, I don't need the hand at this point. I'll come back and get the hand separate. So I've selected that. Command C to copy, Control C to copy. Make a new layer. I'll make it above the body layer. And that's going to be my right arm. That's the character's right arm. So I like to do it, call it arm first. So I identify it as the arm underscore right, and I shorten it. So I have that. And then paste in place, edit, paste in place. The quick keys for that are Shift, Control V, Shift, Command V. Now with that in place, we're gonna Option Alt, right, on the eyeball, and do the same process. But then if they the arm, then I would have to break this arm up into two pieces. So I will do this arm, and then that'll be the last thing I'll do right now, just to guys give you how to go about doing this. So if I come back into my selection tool and see what that's good. I mean, I wasn't sure what it would take away. Take away all that red. It did stop there, so I can delete that. Just gonna take that little piece away. Animate does some weird things with these shapes. I could try to grab all that, delete. So it is a tedious process this way, but you know, an hour or so, you're good. And so I have that as my arm, right? So that's good, but now I have to break this into my upper and lower arm if I'm going to go with the process that I was showing you as far as breaking it apart. So I have arm right. So with this, I could select that and do a Command C, Control C, copy, make a layer above that. And I can call it arm right. This one I could do upper. Make sure when I'm doing it, I remember which is which. And then I can do Shift Command V or edit, paste in place. So Shift Command V, paste in place. And I want to see just this one. Option Alt on the eyeball. All the others are turned off. This is the one here. So I want the upper arm in here. So with that, I'll take my lasso and I'll cut out the lower arm here. And that looks like pretty good. And I'll do delete. But I want to have a little extra. I don't want that just that jagged line there. So I can go to my paintbrush and I can make the paintbrush bigger with my bracket keys. The paintbrush set at a different style. Properties. Go back to the round paintbrush. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of bump out. And as I work with it, what you have to do is convert these into symbols after you create them. I'll see how that works. Maybe pull back a little bit in the eraser. Okay, eraser. Gonna erase. It's set to erase lines, so I'm gonna. It can do erase normal. This case is a fill. Erase fills. Kind of have it smoothed out. So when I look at my arm now, I still have this arm. I could just delete this part and see how they match. Just to be safe, in case it doesn't work perfect, I'll just copy this one also. Command C on that. New layer. And Shift Command V. Shift Control that, paste in place. And this is arm right lower. All right, so then I'll turn everything else off right now. What I could do, I could do these two. So I'm going to go boom, boom. Okay. Turn these two on. With this one, if I click on this blue here, that will let me see this as an outline. Yeah, it's not working so good there. A lot of stuff in there that I would want to clean up. What I could do there on that layer, Command B to break that apart. And now it's all one element. So I did Command B and then it kind of combined them all into one. So let's see what that looks like now. And that's with this blue. So I said, what happened to my color? It all went away. This shows as outlines. So we kind of looked at this earlier, but I know just refreshing you on that. So if I click that blue rectangle again, that's the color of it. There, my colors are back. So it enables us to see things in outline form. Turn this arm on. So I have that. So what I want to do is kind of have a little overlap here. So this, what I'm doing is creating my lower arm. So lock my upper arm so I don't end up doing anything to it. So I see that's there. Select my lower arm. And in this case, I'm going to change my eraser tool and I'm going to erase normal. So I get strokes and fills. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to kind of curve it around like this. So go here. And I have that. That should work. And then I can go to my lasso tool, select this, delete, and turn this back to normal. So now I have my upper and lower arms broken apart. Now I'm not going to do the whole character. I know this is the thing, but you have to go through and break them apart that way. So this is if you're doing it, you have to, separate, get that hand out again, do the hand separate. So what you want to end up with is an upper arm, lower arm, and a hand. And if I turn back my original pose back on and zoom out, fit, let's go fit window. So you have your body, upper arm, lower arm. You do the same process with the leg. I saved those knees, so then you could use those knees to help cover some joints. There are certain tricks as you bend them. Sometimes things pop out. So where's that kid again?